Human beings can exhibit complex goal-oriented behavior without conscious awareness of what they are doing. Okay. So like you can navigate your way to the bathroom in the middle of the night, the eyes half closed or whatever. You can call that a complex goal-oriented behavior, right? I mean, how many years does it take us to learn to walk or to, it is a complex behavior to get up and walk around and do anything. It's goal-oriented. And yeah, you can do it without being consciously aware of it. Okay, so you're getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night without conscious awareness. Thus, they say, merely establishing that non-human animals are intelligent will not establish that they have consciousness. Okay. That one's a head scratcher, and you should be puzzled. You should get done reading that and go, hold up. Your evidence is we can do complex goal-oriented behaviors without being consciously aware of those things. Sure. Going to get a snack, mindlessly snacking while you're watching your show. And it's like, yeah, you can do, you're like making yourself a whole sandwich and everything, but you're just watching the TV. You're not even consciously aware of the fact that you're eating peanut butter out of the jar. Okay, I get it. But then from that, they try to conclude that if we were able to establish that non-human animals, dogs, if we were able to prove that dogs are intelligent, we still wouldn't know that they have consciousness. Why? What? So intelligence is a topic that comes up only in the conclusion and never anywhere else. That's a different issue. What is intelligence? There might be a difference between intelligence and the ability to exhibit complex goal-oriented behaviors. But this argument seems to conflate the two. I think that if they had said, thus merely establishing that non-human animals can exhibit complex goal-oriented behavior will not establish that they have consciousness, this argument would make a lot of sense. But instead, they substituted in intelligent for complex goal-oriented behavior. So the thing I always imagine here is like, this is a prospective client. They're sitting across the desk from me in my law office. And they're like, we got to go sue somebody because I believe this. And they give me this argument. And I've got my legal pad out and I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, so I'm just trying to understand before I take your case. I just want to understand, do you mean to say that intelligence and the ability to exhibit complex goal-oriented behavior are the same thing? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Because your argument would make sense if you had said intelligence in your conclusion. Sorry, if you had said exhibit complex goal-oriented behavior in your conclusion. But instead you said intelligent. So that's why I'm confused. With that, I feel pretty well equipped to go answer the question. So the question says, which one of the following is an assumption on which the argument depends? One of these five is something that this author has to believe. This prospective client clearly thinks one of these five is true. Do they think that complex goal-oriented behavior requires intelligence? Maybe. Let me put a pin in that one because they did seem to make a leap between intelligence and complex goal-oriented behavior. A connects those two ideas. I feel like provisionally, I'm not going to be mad about picking A. B, the possession of consciousness does not imply the possession of intelligence. That's the wrong way around. They're concluding that the possession of intelligence does not imply the possession of consciousness. But they very well might think that if you do have consciousness, then you are intelligent. I have no idea what their position is on that. I just know that they do not believe that simply being intelligent means you have consciousness. So B's backward, so B's out. That's the most commonly chosen wrong answer, by the way. C, all forms of conscious behavior involve the exercise of intelligence. All forms of conscious behavior? No, because they started off talking about complex goal-oriented behavior. There's a difference between that and all forms of conscious behavior. Also, they described these complex goal-oriented behavior as being unconscious behaviors, not as conscious behaviors. So I don't think they have to agree with C. Do they have to agree that D, the possession of intelligence, entails the possession of consciousness? No, they do not. In fact, they can't believe that. That's the exact opposite of what they're trying to conclude about non-human animals. E, some intelligent human behavior is neither complex nor goal-oriented. All I know is that they have told me about humans exhibiting complex goal-oriented behavior. They did not tell me that that was intelligent behavior. And they didn't tell me that humans ever do anything that's not complex and not goal-oriented. They only told me about complex goal-oriented human behavior, nothing else. So I do not see how I can prove they must believe E. But yeah, they must believe A because they conflated those two ideas. They had a premise that was about complex goal-oriented behavior, and that doesn't imply consciousness. Then their conclusion was, therefore, intelligence doesn't imply consciousness, which means that they think that complex goal-oriented behavior and intelligence are basically the same thing. My answer is A.